Chad Lewis, a face synonymous with BYU sports, turned his walk-on status into All-American status to NFL tight end status to Pro Bowl status a few times. As an alum, he's represented BYU at the highest levels, even the White House. Today, he's a senior associate athletic director over development on campus, and it's our pleasure to welcome back to the Wise Guys our longtime friend Chad Lewis. First time in the studio. What do you think?
Yeah, last time you zoomed in.
Yeah.
But we built this all retro. Well, Jack built it all retro for
Zooming
us.
in is fun. I mean, it's easy, but this is really cool.
No, we're so glad you're
sweet.
here.
Good work.
Thank you. Hey, not everyone gets to have dinner at the White House. And so you had dinner at the White House.
It was really cool.
How'd you pull that off?
Great food. President Bush said, "Do you want to come to the White House for dinner?" And I was on the plane heading from Cleveland. We just beat the Browns back home. And so I sent my tight ends coach, Tom Melvin, up to talk to Andy Reid, because Andy had a pretty good policy. We don't talk politics and we don't talk religion. We win football games.
Yeah.
And so I said, "Hey, Tom, the White House wants to have me for dinner." Well, first they wanted me to introduce President Bush 2 nights before the election.
Right. So who's
And so
calling
I
you? Who's
asked
calling
Andy
you?
Reid.
The chief of staff?
This is
Chief of staff's
through my
calling.
notes. Someone
Okay,
from
but
the White
yeah,
House.
but
Hey,
somebody
this
big.
is so-and-so from the White House. I'm like, okay.
Wait, did Andy give you a hassle on this?
Andy came back, and the message from Tom Melvin was, "Hey, you know the policy, but since it's the president, he'll relent."
Okay,
there you go.
So the night comes and you and your wife walk into the White House.
Okay, the White House, we went to the White House after the Super Bowl.
Okay.
So that was for Valentine's. It was a state dinner. So we're dressed up, and that was dinner at the White House. And the guests were Lynn Swann, Roger Staubach, and Willie Mays,
Oh my goodness.
and myself.
And Chad Lewis.
Like, one of these guys is not like the other.
Yeah, you were at the top
I
of the
loved
game.
it. It was so much fun. It was cool.
so cool.
Did you get the feeling that, and then we'll talk football, but did you get the feeling that you're sitting in the most recognizable house on the planet and
No
the
question
source
about
of American power and
Yeah.
everything that comes with it?
Yeah, totally. You got the history, the love, the country, the patriotism. This is a couple years after 9/11.
Yeah.
It all meant something to Michelle and I. Secretary Levin, his wife were in there. He was still Secretary of Health and Human Services, so he spoke to us and said, "Hey, as we go into the dinner, just know that you'll be separated. Michelle, you'll be sitting at a different table." She was like, "What?" She sat with President Bush.
She did?
And Willie Mays and Lynn Swann. And it was a great table.
Where were you? Back with the cooks?
I was at I was washing dishes like crazy. I was at the next table, and that was a cool table too. We had,
Did you have to speak at this?
no
You had to speak. Just
What'd
be
you
there.
have?
and
What'd you
represent.
have? Steak?
steak and little medallions. I wrote about it in my book. I can't remember now.
I need to go back and read
have to
that
look
part.
at my journal.
Go back and read that part. I was
cool.
I was texting Andy Reid when he came on the show. Did he come last
year,
summer?
last summer.
So he was on the show last summer. So Andy and I are texting back and forth, and then all of a sudden a picture comes from the text, and I'm looking at the picture. I'm like, that looks like the White House. I go, "Are you in the White House?" He goes, "Yeah." And I say, "Why are you texting me back and forth in the White
Because
House?"
you're winning Super Bowls.
Yeah, he's like, "Well, because we're here and we had a little break, and I didn't want to leave you hanging." That's Andy,
cool.
right? That's
yeah,
Andy.
man, he's the best.
Hey, Randall Smith says, tell Chad he's got fans watching live from Israel
Boom.
here tonight.
Shalom, shalom. I love Randy
shalom.
Smith.
That's awesome.
Stay safe over there. Keep your head down.
We got Israel in the house tonight. We've got Australia in the house tonight. We've got England in the house tonight.
All right, yeah, and all over the United States.
All over the U.S.
So this is kind of a sweet deal.
Yeah, it's kind of fun.
We like talking to everybody, and they love having you on. And when you look back at this game of football and the impact it's had on your life, what surprised you the most?
Surprised me the most?
Yeah.
The thing I love about sports and football is that it brings us together more than I would have ever imagined. Brings me and Shea Muirbrook and Tim McTire and Steve Sarkisian and that whole team together. Then in the pros, it was, go on and on. Ty Detmer was my first quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And Donovan McNabb, Brian Dawkins, goes on and on and on.
Yeah.
I think sports is the great connector, the great bridge builder. I love the thought of the huddle. You come into the huddle, it doesn't matter what you look like, smell like, you just make plays and you're included. And then from there you build bridges. I think that's the greatest surprise to me is I went from Hillcrest, Lake Ridge, Orem High, and then the opportunity to play where I played, the friends along the way, the coaches along the way, the staff, the equipment managers, the trainers. I'm super grateful for what sports, and in my case, football, what it did for me in my life, connecting me with some of the greatest people ever. How cool is that?
It's really cool.
That's sports.
Yeah.
Thank
awesome.
heavens for the United States of America and sports. We love our sports.
We use the word influencers, and sometimes that has a negative oh, he's an influencer because of social media now. But I want to talk about influencers in a little different way, like people that have big influence on lots of people's lives and change maybe the direction of the game, things like that. And I throw some names out there: Lavell Edwards,
Woo!
Andy Reid,
Life changers.
Steve Young, even in today's game, Fred Warner, Taysom Hill. These are all BYU guys. What do you think about all that? The BYU's had so many people that have had such influence on the game of football that are in positions to have that much influence, and the BYU guys.
Incredible. Not just their influence on the game, because you look at what Taysom's done, scoring positions from so many different places. He is changing the game, his mind, his body. But you look at all these guys, the way they treat other people. And I think all of them, their teammates would say the same thing. Their coaches would say the same thing. Their fan bases would say the same thing. Man, these are great dudes. I love these guys. I love how they treat people. If that's your legacy, if that's your hallmark, that's a million times better than how many touchdowns you scored or how many tackles. That stuff goes away pretty quick.
Zachary's in Dickinson, North Dakota on the stream tonight. Brett and Melissa, Texas. And I saw Jay Beer says dinner with the dub, with W in parentheses. That's awesome, Chad. Dinner with the dub. Change in this game comes as fast as life changes. And you've watched this football team transition from the Jake Retzlaff situation to where they are today. How impressed are you with what you've seen?
Well, first of all, I'm so impressed with Kalani's Lavell-like stability. It's very difficult to build culture. Everyone's trying to build culture. They write books on culture. If everyone's trying to build culture, then how come so few can do it? It's remarkable to me. So I want to say, look at what Kalani's done, putting together his staff, Jay Hill, Aaron Roderick, the rest of the staff. I think they're exceptional. Last year's bowl game was an example of that. I think there was a lot of trepidation for people getting ready for that game, and we got into that game, and what they did was impressive. I want to just recognize what Kalani and his staff have done and who they are. Jake, that was a difficult situation, went to Tulane. And by the way, how impressive was it when he started talking about Kalani and his teammates and the people here?
It was great.
Hats off to Jake, because you got 32 NFL head coaches watching, 32 GMs, 32 NFL staffs. They know he's in a difficult situation, and what did he do with it? I felt like he stood up like a man, took the high road, and the way he talked about it, I think every one of those people just went, check. That's a great guy right there. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
So, Jake, great job.
Yeah.
What else? What'd you ask?
Well, you've seen this team transition to where they are today from where they were going to be with him in a short period of time.
Well, what I would say about that is there is a quiet confidence that always comes with Kalani and his teams. That is difficult to get. You can get bravado. You can get fake. We're going to kill everybody. But what you have is a very tough, very good football team, and they have this quiet Kalani confidence that's both humble and confident. It's both, I'm going to rip your face off and I'm going to lift you up next play. It's a unique combination that he brings to the table. And I love the way he does it. He thinks different than most people I've ever met. He's I love him. I love listening to him. I love hanging out with him. I love talking to him. I love his heart and soul that he brings to the guys. And then I love talking to this team and hearing how much they love him.
Yeah.
Why do they love him? They love him because he speaks their language. They love him because he's tough when he needs to be tough. He's funny when he needs to be funny. He has this unique package. I love the way they talk about him.
And
that's pretty cool.
If you're around enough, well, maybe not everybody, if they're around enough, you'll get what we call scary Kalani moment, where like he gets upset and he'll tell the guys that he's upset. And have you been around for a scary Kalani moment?
I've seen a bunch of those.
Yeah. And so people think
real. Like
people say, oh, love and learn. Like he's too soft. And I'm like, you've never been there for a scary Kalani moment, obviously, because he can get into these kids in a loving way. He can do it because they know he loves them. Right. So now he can get on them and they're like, we got to go. Let's go.
Right. That's right.
And then you walk out of there and you're ready. I've heard one and I wanted to go punch somebody. I wanted to go play, so it's a unique ability to do that, right?
Great combination, unique. You described it perfectly.
Former Cougar and current athletic administrator Chad Lewis is with us on the Wise Guys, presented by Brady Plus, Eddie, and Mountain America Credit Union. And Wise Guys is distributed by the Deseret News. Let's talk about this quarterback situation. It could be a freshman. There's a lot of other weapons around him everywhere on offense except for at quarterback. How do you feel about starting a true freshman if it ends up being Bear? Is that doable? Is that tough? What are we looking at here?
We have great players. We have a great defense, great defensive scheme, great defensive minded, from Jay Hill on down. I have no problem if we're going to start Bear. I have no problem going in the Portland State game, not because I don't respect Portland State. I, as a football player, respect every person I play, and I think most football players do. It's the dumb ones that don't respect their opponents. Watch out. Mm-hmm. Everyone's working hard. I'm not afraid of Bear going out there and putting his big body on the line. I've seen his tape. He's a big, strong, fast dude. I'm not going to compare him to Taysom Hill because no one can, but he's got a lot of Taysom Hill in him.
Yeah.
I've seen him make great throws this training camp. I've seen him just get comfortable. So if it's him, bring it on. I think the guys are comfortable. I'm comfortable. I know the coaches are comfortable. So it's football.
Yeah.
I would love to have a senior quarterback who's won the national championship 3 years in a row coming to lead our team.
But you don't have that, right?
But you don't. So what I hope we have is a bunch of guys that are willing to have as much fun as they possibly can on game day and remember what the coaches have coached them to do. If you're too nervous and you can't throw and you can't run, okay, next.
Right.
I hope they're cutting it loose. I know that's how Kalani is. I know that Andy Reid would always encourage us to let our personalities show. Don't go out there tight. Go out there. This is the most enjoyable, fun game in the world. Go cut it loose. Have some fun. Light up the scoreboard. Make things happen.
Man, I'm ready to go.
Yeah, I'm ready to go too. I'm glad you mentioned the Taysom Hill thing. People have come up to me and say, you've seen Barry, you've seen him around. Like, does he have the skill set like Taysom Hill? And it's like, what you talking about? Like, nobody in the history of the game has had the skill set of Taysom. Like, he's a freak in the best sense of the word.
He is.
I'm like, so no, he's not like Taysom Hill, but he's pretty dang athletic, and he's 235 pounds, and he has a big arm. Like
when he gets running, people bounce off.
By most people's standards, he's a freak. But let's not compare him to the craziest freak of freaks, right?
Just let him be a freshman football player at BYU. Let him go earn his stripes. Let him go have some fun. That means you make some mistakes, you recover, you lead your team, and you have fun.
When Max was on the show a couple of weeks ago, he made his debut at BYU as a starter, and he said the defense was so good that they gave him room for error, and then he evolved into a guy who threw 95 touchdowns.
Max Hall?
Yeah, he said
he's one of the most competitive dudes we've ever had, wanted to win worse than anything.
And he said he sees similarities in the makeup of this team with his team in breaking in a new quarterback.
Oh, that's cool. I hope to see that. It'll be fun.
He gave a lot of credit to the defense his sophomore year. He says, we were so good I could make mistakes and they would just cover them up.
This time of year, it's easy for all of us to say whatever.
Yeah.
But all of us are thinking the same thing. I'll tell you in 2 weeks how good we are.
Exactly.
I'll tell you how the team comes together. I'll tell you once we see them, like when the lights go on, who makes plays. Well, part of that we saw from a lot of this team from the last couple of years, the way, we played Kansas State and every single ball bounced our way in one of the most magical nights in Lavell Edwards Stadium and Cougar football history.
Right.
Let's just do that every night.
Phil is on the stream from Cedar Park, Texas. Neil's in Tucson tonight. Robert's checking in from Saratoga Springs, Utah. Let's talk about your favorite position on the field, the tight end spot. You've been watching Carson Ryan. He looks a lot like you. He looks a lot like the big guys that have been able to catch the ball over the middle where the tight ends have lived forever at BYU, but not so much lately. Do you see the tight end spot back now with Ryan?
I know that Aaron and Kalani in the offseason have said they want to make the tight end more integral to the offense. That will only help every part of the offense, the deep ball, the run game, and the short game. The tight end it's the easiest throw. You're a big guy going against not really the greatest cover players on the defensive side. They're more hitters. And you can work the zone to get open. It's as a quarterback, you can just rip that thing into a tight end. You got a big body, big target, big catch radius. I would love to see Carson go off. I would love to see the other tight ends contribute and go off. I would love to see the tight end become something special, which it has been through the history of BYU. When Blaine was there, they had some of the greatest tight ends ever. I mean,
if everything looked bad, just throw it to the tight end. That was our policy.
Oh, man, you guys I was watching every one of those games.
Hey, you lined up opposite of Atula Mealy. That was one of the greatest tag teams in the history of the program.
I would say that you two, and we've had some great tight ends here, but as a pair, there's never been a better pair of tight ends that played together than you and Atula, and I've watched it for 40 years.
That's cool. We had fun together. We knew how to get each other open. Steve Sarkisian was a great quarterback, feeding us the ball. The offense, I mean, I could name every player on that offense. Just what we did with that team was a lot of fun. But specifically playing with Atula, that was a dream for me.
Yeah.
He was a big guy that could run, could catch. He was smooth. He would jump over you. He'd make you miss. He was a lot of fun.
You got open because of him. He got open because of you.
Yeah, we had great symmetry on that football field, and we had a lot of fun.
And you both had NFL careers. It's like it's rare for a team to have two tight ends that go on and both play in the league and have success and do all that. It was just a magical time.
He probably would have been a first or second round pick if he didn't get hurt in the WAC championship game in Vegas.
Yeah.
He was really gifted and talented. He's sweet.
Yeah.
Hey, looking over this roster, and a few more questions here with Chad Lewis tonight on the Wise Guys. We're live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and wiseguys.com all around the world. There are 56 players and 6 coaches who returned missionaries on this roster. Guys that have gone out and served the Lord for 2 years in all parts of the world. In a program that went 11-2 last year, is ranked 23rd in the coaches poll ahead this season. Can you put that uniqueness in perspective? Like, how is that even possible?
Remarkable. BYU is remarkable. I want everyone watching this. Most of them are BYU people, so it's not a surprise to them. But to the rest, BYU is unique. Definitely we have high standards. We definitely don't want to be self-righteous punks in the way we go about our business. We want to lift the world. We want to give back to the world. We want to serve the world. Our standards are high. The prophet still, when he watches our games, football, basketball, any sport, he still expects, if he's in person or turn on the TV, to see BYU shine back at him on the TV. What does that mean? It means there's a certain way of playing. Play with your whole heart and soul. It means that our appearance is and should be different than anywhere else in the country. Short hair, shaved face, no earrings. That is still part of BYU. It's still a big part of BYU. And from him straight on down to all the apostles, that's what they expect. Well, guess what? We know that. And most of the players know that. And the way they represent BYU is so impressive. I love it. Football is a great sport, but it can be a nasty, very tough, mean sport. At BYU, you can still have the toughness of football, and Blaine will attest to this because they won a national championship. That has not been done again. But in the same time that you're winning a national championship and fighting and competing, you're living in a place of prayer, faith, blessings, brotherhood that is different. And we're all trying to hit the mark. We're trying to meet the standard. And it still matters. Yeah. So that's important.
Does it feel, Chad, like there's maybe a swing back? I mean, I'm looking at some of these recruiting classes. There's a lot of kids that are coming here that are not members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in multiple sports. I think of basketball, there are multiple Muslim kids on the team.
Foos.
And we're hearing from guys like Foos and from AJ and from multiple kids on this football team that have spent time over at our house that, yeah, I grew up in a really religious family. We believe in Jesus Christ, and the Muslims, you know, they're not believing in Jesus Christ, but they're saying as their savior. But they're saying, hey, we want a place where it's faith based.
Right. We
wanted to come to a place like that. This is the culture we wanted. It seemed like, I don't know, maybe 15 years ago, we couldn't find kids like that, but we're finding more and more of them.
I love it.
What do you think's happening here?
I love it that they're comfortable here. I love the momentum of BYU sports. There's so much to look forward to. There's so much positivity on every team with the coaching staffs, the players. I love that the parents of the recruits and the recruits want to be a part of this and want to move it forward and see that they can come here and play at the highest levels. Look in the pros right now when you have, you know, Puka Nacua, Taysom Hill, Fred Warner,
Kyle Van
Noy, people on both sides of the ball playing at the very top of the game. It's 100% possible to come to BYU and do that, and also do it in an environment where you have way less distractions, way less parties that are going to get you in trouble, way better atmosphere. I loved playing here at BYU, playing football in this atmosphere. I loved running out the tunnel with the Y on my helmet, on my chest, what it all meant, and the atmosphere and the environment we could do it in here. I loved it.
There's another trend to go along with that. Ryder Lyons, 5-star mission. Brock Harris, 4-star, going to be a 5-star mission. McKay Madsen, 4-star, picks BYU over Oregon on NBC mission.
Those are all beasts. You're naming
Kalani's getting
beast warriors.
The best of the best LDS talent who are also going on missions before they come.
Yeah, I would say Ammon and his brothers.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's cool that these guys have their priorities at a place where they want to serve their fellow men. Meaning, when we go on missions, the number one part is to teach people about Jesus Christ. No question about that. The number two part of going on a mission, we're dedicating a lot of hours every week in straight service. Don't care what people look like, smell like, what religion they are, we want to serve. So these guys that are going on missions are going out to serve their fellow men. That's a pretty remarkable vision for their lives. And when they do that, they come back more mature, a better sense of who they are and what they're fighting for and striving for. I think a better chance for success throughout their life if they've put things in order in the right way. I'm very impressed with this generation of BYU athletes, men and women. I just think they're top notch. Yeah. And for me, I get to be around them every day.
Right.
That's so fun.
It is very cool. I'm very grateful that that's my perspective I love it. I love seeing what they're doing.
There's 55 players on the team, on this football team right now that speak a language other than English.
Yeah.
There you go.
We're going to get to that.
So you got at the receiver position alone, Chase Roberts speaks Tagalog. He served in the Philippines. Cody Hagan speaks Mandarin, like you. You served in Taiwan. Did you ever use your language skills during a game to like throw off somebody? You ever say something to them in Mandarin and they're just like, huh? Like what?
It was Larry Harmer was my mission companion. He was on the defensive side of the ball at BYU. We would speak to each other in Chinese during practice.
What the other guys say? What were they thinking when they'd hear you guys?
They just wondered what we were saying, and we were just laughing the whole time.
But ever in a game, you throw guys defending you, and you say something just to throw them off of you're speaking.
No, I should have.
You're speaking Chinese at him.
On purpose mistake called sin.
Your language skill, particularly Mandarin, has led to some amazing opportunities. So the sports combined, maybe one of the rewards you reap from being on a mission is the ability to speak a language. Now you speak Mandarin, and that opened up some doors for you when you're in the NFL to represent the NFL in mainland China, right?
Yep. The NFL sent me to China and Asia multiple times to be an ambassador for the game, to do goodwill tours, to cover the games. I covered Super Bowl 38 in Mandarin the first time we went live to China. New England Patriots, Carolina Panthers. I had 2 weeks to prepare. So as you can imagine, all of my football Chinese was missionary Chinese.
You taught a few discussions.
Tom Brady, Chuanda Han Jungchit. I testify that Tom Brady's throwing true passes. And Mr. Han, the guy I was doing the broadcast with, he would just look at me and like, that's such an interesting way to call a game. So I say that I taught the discussions to 1.3 billion people in 6 hours.
That's next level.
That's awesome.
That's next level.
Through football. So football combined with missionary service and language training can lead to some pretty cool stuff.
Opens doors.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Before we get to 5 questions and we'll roll you out of here, as a steward over the department, over development with BYU Athletics, what do you want fans to know and what would you like them to do here as we sit the Monday before, we got 13 days before this thing kicks off?
Most people know how dramatic the change is with NIL and so name, image, and likeness. Paying of players, revenue share. What does all that mean? All that means is Cougar Nation. We need Cougar Nation now more than ever before. We're so grateful for their contributions, their support, coming to games, buying tickets, watching the games. But I would just say to be relevant, and that's one thing Brian Santiago has said multiple times. We need to be and stay nationally relevant. We need to lift, build, and empower these student athletes. You don't do that with 2 pennies. No. You do it with a whole bunch of pennies. And so people have come, first of all, they bought tickets in basketball and football at an unprecedented rate.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
The problems we have of fitting everyone in the Mary Center, those are great problems.
Yeah.
We'll keep figuring those out and keep making things better for Cougar Nation. But we love and are grateful for all the help people are giving us. We're going to continue to need that. So if they want BYU to be sweet, we need their help for BYU to be sweet. And that's just how it is. And we're going to do everything we can. We're going to try and think critically. We're going to use wisdom. We're going to be appropriate and come up with ways and means to make it happen for our student athletes to fly. That's one thing Brian always says. I want these student athletes to fly. We want to help them fly.
Good answer. You didn't know we were going to come with that question. And
bring it on, whatever you got. If I don't have a good answer, I'll go out the door.
We realized, though, that when you came on before, I don't know why, you were back looking at it, right, Dave? Why we didn't do our normal 5 questions with you. We usually do 5 questions with all of our guests, and we never did the 5 questions. And this is what we do, where we just rapid fire.
Here's an answer before you even ask me. Who's my favorite soccer player at BYU? Avery Frischneck.
Okay, that's question 6.
That's 6.
That's
Question
number 6. That's number 6.
Who's your favorite women's basketball player?
Love them all. Let's go.
Yeah.
Is that
Let's
one
go.
of the questions?
Denelia is on the
Delaney
stream
is a beast.
from West
Yeah,
Jordan.
Delaney is awesome.
Gerald's on the stream from Fresno. Now, everyone around the world is ready to hear 5 questions presented by Strategy Square. Learn how to boost your company's social media with Chantal, a BYU grad at strategysquare.co. So tonight, here we go. You ready?
Here we go.
Wait, I just need to say this. The reason I said that Avery's my favorite player before people get creeped out, my son Jeff, who's playing offensive right tackle on the football team as a return missionary freshman, is dating Avery.
Now it'll go. Hey, what is it with the
That's how you
Lewis?
move up the favorite
What is it with
list.
the Lewis family finding athletes to marry?
Very smart. I might have played football, but I am very smart.
I grew up with the Lewis boys. They're smart.
Yeah, they know what to do. So, okay.
Lucked out.
Here we go. Number 1, your favorite sports movie.
I'm going to Rudy because it was such a motivating time in my life, climbing the ladder as a freshman, sophomore.
Yeah.
The fact that this nobody was a walk-on, he earned something from his teammates. That is a powerful theme for me. I loved it, the way they did it, the whole thing. When I see it, I'm like, that's cool.
All right.
Dave and I got to interview like the real Rudy at Notre Dame.
Just before he joined the church.
Yeah, just before he joined the church. And he comes out, he's walking, and to our surprise, it gave me goosebumps. The people that were there recognized him, and they start going, Rudy, Rudy. I was like, no, it's giving me the chills.
That's cool.
It was really cool. Okay, number 2, your favorite singer or band?
Great question. Definitely my favorite band is the big band, the Tabernacle Choir. I love the power of the hymns, the words of the hymns. I love how Mac Wilberg draws out the power of the music. So Greg Jefferson, we're flying with the Eagles, we're flying to a game, and he said, hey, Chad, you ever listen to gospel music? I'm like, yeah. And I had Hymns of Faith. I think it was either one or just called Hymns of Faith. It was very dry compared to what they're doing right now.
Yeah.
So he said, well, can I listen to it? I'm like, sure. So I gave him my headphones, and he just shook his head at me like, like he wanted something a lot more.
Yeah.
But to me, I had just served a mission in Taiwan. I came to understand the power of the hymns. So to me, that's it.
So
I also
Motabs.
love, Simon and Garfunkel, U2. I'm eclectic. I have a, wide variety. I love them.
Yeah, Simon and Garfunkel goes back a long time. Jack Johnson, man.
You know, we've been doing this show for over 3 years.
Nobody
That's
said the Motabs.
first Motab.
Yeah.
The
Motab's
Tabernacle
sweet.
Choir at Temple Square.
Yep.
Come thou fount of every blessing.
it's there.
Turn that
Yeah.
on 10, and I will run through or jump over anyone.
When I think of them, I don't necessarily think of a band, but they are what they are. They're awesome. I've seen them in concert, so I guess that means they're a band.
They play music.
Yeah, they play
sing.
music. They sing. Awesome.
They just wear conservative clothes. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay, number 3, your favorite breakfast cereal.
This thing, Morning Crunch or something. I can't remember what it is. from
Morning
Costco.
Crunch?
What is it? It's this.
Captain Crunch?
No,
No,
it's-
that's his, Captain
It's
Crunch.
so good. I wish I could remember the name of it.
What does it have in it? Is it like a granola with
Kind
fruit?
of like granola and got some nuts. It's got everything in there.
Yeah, I just had some.
Morning
of that.
Crunch? Is that it?
Morning Crunch?
Sounds like clean out the fridge
DJ,
crunch.
you're going to have to help us out with this. DJ knows every cereal known to
I
man.
can't remember what it's
Our
called.
technical
but
director knows every cereal.
Something Morning Crunch.
It's so good.
So he'll come up with something for
Yeah,
us.
give me 100 boxes.
So-
100
okay.
bucks is a Morning Crunch.
Our
Plus
we've had
anything
some,
with eggs. Like
we've had some crazy.
Okay.
Like Kaveh Hanoi comes in. He's like, I don't eat breakfast cereal. We're like, oh, come on. Like, what do you feed your kids? He goes, our kids don't eat breakfast cereal. They eat protein shakes. I was like, oh my gosh. He and Marissa are a little too dialed in, right? So we've had he's Captain Crunch. I'm Cinnamon Life.
What's up, Captain? My boys like Cinnamon Life.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one. So
Captain's never
I
disappointed.
love America. Look what we get to have for breakfast.
yeah, whatever
That's
we
right.
want. So number 4, your favorite BYU memory.
When Lavell Edwards called me into his office, training camp of my freshman year. My dad's already had a stroke. My family's finances are wiped out. I'm walking on. I went through spring ball. I'm going through training camp. And after practice, he said, I'd like to see Chad Lewis in my office after practice. And Coach Chow, as we're walking off the field, said, hey, bud, if this is what I think it is, you owe me a steak dinner. I was like, bro, I go in his office, and he just complimented me on my hard work. And he said, we're going to put you on full grant and aid.
Nice.
Yeah, that was it, huh?
The meaning of that money to me and to my family, and what that meant in my pursuit to play football, and the words coming out of Lavell's mouth to me were a miracle. That he said, we're going to give you a scholarship. And then he said, I want you to keep working as hard as you are. I loved Lavell. And that meant so much to me and to my family, to my present and to my future. That wasn't on the field, but it was the greatest moment in my BYU history.
It's a good moment.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it.
And then I said, well, I've already paid for my registration. What should I do about that? He's like, oh yeah, well, go get it reimbursed. I was like, oh,
Nice.
I went up and I got my $1,300.
Yeah.
And I put it in the bank, and that's what I had to pay for Michelle's ring. I had cash. I saved it, and I was able to go get a ring. And greatest money ever spent in my life.
There you go. You locked it down.
Thank
right
you,
there.
Lavell.
Lavell locked it down. I borrowed $1,000 from Kyle Morrell. I didn't even know where he got it.
It's better.
We won't even ask.
It's best that you
I
didn't.
don't even know where he got it, but I didn't want to know. And then I bought I put the down payment on Brenda's ring with borrowed money from Kyle Morrell, who gave me a 0 interest loan for 12 months. I don't know how he got it.
TR Play says Great Grains. Does that sound like your
No,
breakfast cereal?
it wasn't Great
Sorry,
Grains.
it's not Great Grains. Okay.
Yeah, I wonder if it's honey
continue.
bunches of oats
Nope,
or
nope.
It's just a
it's some kind of a
montage of
granola. There was
I
somebody who was
love
talking.
honey bunches of oats.
Those are good. Yeah. So, wait. Oh, here we go. DJ comes through.
There's like every.
Like we were giving you a whole variety.
So
to
wait.
pick from.
If you're listening on the podcast, you can't see these, but there's a whole list
Like
of
DJ just put up
different
1, 2,
cereals.
3, 4.
None of those.
None of these. He's got blueberry morning
All right,
crunch,
take
great
'em off.
grains.
Wait.
Oh,
Love
maybe
honey
this one.
bunches and oats. but
Honey
that's
bunches
not
of
it.
oats.
That's it.
Okay,
All right.
DJ. I don't know if you can do a better job than giving him that many options, and it wasn't.
Would
any
you
of them.
take a picture and we'll let the
put it out-
audience
we'll let
know
audience
next week
know
that
if
we've
we-
identified this
Okay.
morning montage of
And-
delight that you.
Ingai Koilaba.
Yeah, there you go. So,
Yes.
and this one, last one's the most important one. You mentioned your dad had a stroke when you were in college. Roger, what's the favorite advice your dad ever gave you?
He just wanted me to treat people right. Here's one good piece of advice. We went on a camp out when I'm 13, 14 years old. We're hiking down Coyote Gulch, which feeds into Escalante Canyon that leads into Lake Powell. And there's a newer kid in our scout troop, and he was Hispanic, and I wasn't calling him his name. His name, I think, is Moroni. And after calling him not his name a couple times, my dad pulled me aside and was like, "It's not his name. What are you doing?" He just got after me and was like, "You got to treat people right." That was great. Another time, Mary Lou Nielsen, who I'm in her stake now, but when I was 13, 14, 15, we were swimming in a neighborhood that wasn't our neighborhood. It was a gated neighborhood. And she kicked us out because we weren't supposed to be in there. And when we left, I thought she was so sassy. I spit in her car. It was like a 280ZX right through the sunroof on the seat. Then we went to my friend Scott Wilkins' house, and we're sitting there. And a few minutes later, my parents showed up. Knock, knock, knock. My dad had a rag. He's like, "Go clean that up." It was the worst feeling ever. Drove over into the neighborhood, cleaned up her car, drove back home, sat on the couch right in front of my mom and dad. And my dad said, "If I'm going to get mad at you right now, the way that you got mad at her, I would be not serving you. I wouldn't be helping you." He just said, "You got to learn how to love people. You got to learn how to grow up." So instead of throwing me straight way out the window, cartwheeling down the neighborhood, he just showed a great deal of love. Mary Lou plays the organ in the 8th Ward in the Hillcrest Stake. I get to talk to her all the time. I love her. She's so cool about that whole thing. And she just realized, you know, I was a young guy, that my frontal lobe was not quite formed in my brain. And I love that my dad was willing to just be a dad and teach me, stop acting like a little kid and grow up. Be nice to people, treat people right. Well, that made a difference through my football career.
Yeah. I remember when your dad looked at me with his big dark eyes and said, "Please don't come to Scouts anymore. You're driving me nuts." Now, he didn't say that, but I could see that he was thinking it.
You read that.
I could see that was coming through. As Roger Lewis put all of us boys in the 58th Ward through Boy Scouts.
He did a good job with that.
Yeah, he did. Patient man. Good man. How about Morning Summit from Costco?
That's what it is.
There you go. Michael,
Who
congratulations.
got it? Michael got it?
Yeah. Morning
Michael.
Summit.
Michael
and then Mark
Cavallino.
came in going, I was going to say Morning Summit.
Hey, look, everybody in
Yeah.
America, if you want to make breakfast great again,
Morning
yourself some
Summit
Morning
from
Summit.
Costco. There you go.
It's a big box. It's got a lot in there.
What I always end up doing
That's
is
cool.
whatever granola or whatever, I end up throwing a bunch of craisins in it and all kinds of stuff.
It's like that.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, without having to add stuff.
The great Chad Lewis on the show tonight. Thanks so much for being here.
Yeah, we
appreciate you.
go back to when we're little kids.
Yeah.
Same ward. Your dad was my bishop at one time. He died at 57 years old.
Yeah.
Way too young. And your brother-in-law just passed away.
57.
57 years old. Way
Yeah,
too young.
funeral
So I'm
today.
sorry about that.
Yeah, it's just a punch in the gut.
Shoot.
Life is, it never stops, right? It ends for some, but then the sun comes up and goes down. I remember the day after our dad's funeral, I was mad the sun came up because I just wanted everything to stop. And it just didn't, and you're driving down the street and the 4 cars next to you are hurrying to whatever. And they got no idea you're in the middle of your crisis. And I think it was President Eyring, I might get it wrong, who said, when you meet somebody, just assume that they're in a crisis, and 50% of the time you be right.
Yeah.
And but there are also moments like today, our gang, we're all together, and that's heaven on earth, even when we lose somebody, when we're together like that, and gives us motivation to live good enough so we can reunite with all those guys. But Todd, I'll say Todd was on my mission, and he came over to a district meeting in Copperas Cove, Texas, and he was fairly new, and I'd been out a little bit, and he came up on his bike. I wrote about it in the Deseret News, and I think he flashed me the U sign because he was from Bountiful and grew up that way, and he knew whose district he was coming to. But he converted, so that's a win for us. But he comes in, he sees a picture of my family and the 12 of us, right? And he sees a picture of Kip, and you know Kip, and he's just staring at her, and he goes, "Hey, can I write her?" And I'm like, "What for?" I'm just a stupid 19-year-old. And he goes, "Well, because she's cute." And I'm like, and I was in charge of the meeting. I'm like, "All right." I just scribbled the address and handed it to him and said, "Go for it." And 2 years later, they got married.
That's
and
cool.
A great family. And so, so things are tender, but just listening to you talking about your dad and the people around us, even going back to 30 minutes ago, we're talking about football and relationships, and I thought you nailed that on the head. That sports brings us together. Sometimes it brings families together to watch and talk and discuss, like everyone on the stream tonight. And sometimes it brings guys together, like you guys, to play, and develop those relationships. And where would we be? I think that men are that they might have joy. I think that involves football.
It's definitely part of football.
There's football in heaven. My dad said that. He also told me to treat people right, as did Dale McCann.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
And
We're pretty lucky.
Lavell told us all to treat people right too.
That's right.
Benny. And Kalani teaches that all the time, right? That's a great thing. You treat people right.
Treat people right.
Yep.
I'll finish by saying the resurrection of Jesus Christ is real. We're going to see everybody again.
Yeah.
This world is not the end. And that pumps me up. Michelle's dad, Doug, has already passed away. I can't wait to see him. My grandparents, people through history.
You need to wait a little while to see him.
That's right.
Yeah.
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 My twins got in a bad accident yesterday morning.
Oh, man.
And the car was totaled. they were completely spared. We just think there were angels around them.
Yeah.
Saved them. Definitely on my mind right now. The thinness of the veil, the quickness of our mortal experience, and the fact that the resurrection is real. Yeah. Everyone in the world needs to know that. I don't care what religion they're from. The resurrection is real. Let that just sink in as deep as it can go.
Well said. Chad Lewis on the Wise Guys. We love having you on. We look forward to having you on for years to come.
Thank you.
Good to have you here.
Yep, thanks.
And you also snuck in some Mandarins. That was awesome.
Yeah, I believe it's the first Mandarin ever spoken on the Wise
We've
Guys.
had Tagalog, but I don't think we've had
He Jen Out of Sure Gong, Joe Yao Chu Jen, you run, you on you to Zhong Jen.
Yeah, all of that.
What did that mean?
Now behold, a marvelous work is about to come forth among the children of men.
Wait, are you talking about football season in 2 weeks? Or
Let's go, bring it on.
I hope it applies
That's
to both.
part of building the kingdom.
I hope it applies to both the kingdom and this football season,
Same
what
here.
you just said. So
It's awesome. Thanks,
great.
Chad.
Thanks, Chad. Appreciate you being here, brother.
Thank you.
Chad Lewis on the Wise Guys and in the athletic department in the Hall of Fame and just phenomenal.
So fun.
Phenomenal stuff tonight.
So